So I'm about eating some of the homegrown cucumbers that I planted. That's good. Hello guys, once upon a gardening time, I had some sand that I was going to use to plant cucumbers in sacks. I got the sand from a farmland and I was going to mix them up together with some manure that I got from a chicken coop, and I was going to use it to grow cucumbers. The chicken manure that I obtained had already been gathered for a long time and it had already decomposed fully before I intended to carry it and use it eventually for the growing of my cucumber in sacks and containers. So I bagged the soil into sizes that I will use, and then I obtained some seed that I was going to plant in the sacks. So I was going to plant these seeds directly into the sack bags, but I made a mistake by planting multiple seeds in a particular sack, and this affected the growth of this cucumber, and you will find out towards the end of this video. But anyways, my growing of cucumber was a very interesting journey that I had. So you might be wondering why my cucumber seeds are orange in color. Well, when I bought my cucumber seed, I came to realize that this orange color was because of a kind of preservative that they rubbed on the seed in order to enable it to have that kind of dormancy and not be able to sprout before planting. So I watered my cucumber and I expected that it should be sprouting, because I know cucumber don't take much time. I think up to 90 days your cucumber should be ready, and just in 3 days my cucumber had already started sprouting. I was very happy because I wanted to even see a faster growth than I saw, but in 3 days my seedlings had already started popping up. This was my first time growing cucumber, so every experience I had was going to count, and so these things were actually making me happy. But when I sent this picture to some other gardeners, they were saying that my cucumber was not just growing perfectly, and I came to realize that it was true because I had overplanted, and so I had to separate some of the seedlings. But yet the separation I did was not still effective because I was still having up to 3 to 4 seedlings per sack, and this was not a good one at all. I also made efforts to separate as much as possible, but yet my cucumbers had no space enough to grow, so I had to leave it like that and then just go into staking. And then I put these ropes so that it was going to be able to serve as a vine or a trellis or a stake where these cucumbers are going to use as a support to grow, because if you don't stake it, the cucumbers will probably grow on the ground and then they can be affected by bacteria or fungi and just one kind disease that you would not like to have in your cucumber. So after 2 weeks of growing the cucumber, I had something like this, and these cucumbers, I sent it again to one of my gardening experts, and she also said that these cucumbers are not growing fine, and I was a bit annoyed because I also had that kind of feeling that at 1 month or at 2 weeks, let's say 2 weeks, my cucumber should have already grown big. And I was happy when I saw them forming tendrils. These tendrils were like the kind of hands that they used to clip to your vines or to your trellis or to your stick or whatever material you had used to stake them. So this tendrils is going to help them to cling onto whatever thing that you have used to stake. And I was happy that they were forming it at that stage, and then they were going to so I was going to wind my stake around the stem of the cucumber so that it was going to optimize the growing or the tropism towards that area. So to do that, I just tied it softly around the cucumber plant, and then I was going to do this gently because you don't want to upset the stems. You don't want to break those little seedlings because they are still forming and they are not strong at that stage. So I just tied it lightly around it, and then I twisted the rope around the plant so that the plant was supposed to know that, oh, this is my rope, and it was going to grow and not interfere with the rope of another plant. So I did it, and each plant had an individual rope, although they were competing for space, but they weren't competing for the roots, and I didn't want them to compete for space when they are already grown up. But now the space in the sack was small because these plants were sharing up to 5 seedlings per sack, and then the competition for nutrients and soil food was so high, and it was all organic gardening. There was no fertilizer, and I was just going to rely on compost, and I had to make compost. For the compost I was going to use to plant my cucumber, I had already gathered some kitchen waste, some yams, some bananas, some other food scrap that I was going to compost into one formula that I was going to use to grow these plants. And so I had to mix this because this has stayed here for some months. I was going to mix it because I felt that the ones at the down we are already getting decomposed, and these ones at the up was not yet fully done. So I was going to mix it and then keep it for some other day, so that when the thing is perfectly decayed, I was going to add it. But I knew that it was going to be ready before the cucumber was out. So I mixed it again and masticated it, and then after a few days I was going to come back and check the condition of this compost and then apply it to my farm if it was ready, because I know that it was going to be ready at the time that I was finished. So I had to pack it fully, as you can see as I was doing there. I made a video about composting before, and I think that is about 3 months ago, and you can see that video right on my channel. After 30 days of planting the cucumber, you can see how the cucumber looked like. It wasn't good, it wasn't so healthy as I would say, it wasn't so healthy, but as a first time I was growing cucumber, I had to use this as a lesson to know that overcrowding in planting is not good. Overcrowding in any crop is not good. Like if I was going to plant something, I was going to plant 1 cucumber per sack, but since I had already planted it 4 cucumbers, so I was able to just see and know how it will grow, despite the fact that I ignored it. You can see my okra that I also planted. Now this okra was attacked by canker worms, and I was waiting. I had to remove it because I didn't want it to also attack my cucumber. I also added some chicken manure for it that time that it was growing, but this chicken manure had contained wood mulch, because this wood mulch were used as poultry beddings, and so this wood mulch was depleting oxygen in my cucumber, and then as it was depleting oxygen in the cucumber, it was making the cucumber to grow slowly. It was as it was having like an inhibitor, it was slowing the growth of the cucumber. So this wood mulch is actually another thing that I applied that really slowed down the growth of my cucumbers. So these 30 days into growing cucumbers, my plants were attacked by cankerworm, were attacked by overcrowding, and another problem was use of wood mulch. So I made a video about 30 days of planting cucumber, and I posted it on my social media, and then some of my friends that are also gardeners messaged me and told me that these cucumbers weren't growing healthy, and I confirmed it because I had seen some holes and some chops of cankerworms. So I prepared a homemade pesticide that was going to get rid of these things, and soon after I also saw aphids at the back of the leaves, and this even made me to go to seek for inorganic fertilizer later, but I didn't apply it to the cucumber. I applied it to my pepper, which was more important at that time because the cucumber had already finished fruiting by the time I had obtained my pesticide. But I used this natural made pesticide that I made from dish soap and then some other leaf extracts. In addition to that, I also practice physical method of pest control by picking the caterpillar and the canker worms anytime I had seen them. So this day 35 to day 40 of growing these cucumbers, and you can see that the cucumbers are a bit short and stunted. Like all stunted, they are a bit shorter than usual or expected, but I came today and I saw that these cucumbers have started fruiting. They started flowering. So it's a bit interesting when your crops are flowering to fruiting stage. So I was a bit amazed that these cucumbers have started to flower. So I'm going to check it now, and I'm going to also show you how the flowers look like and the first day of flower formation, how they look like. In as much as my plant wasn't growing well at day 30, I also say that they had flower formations. That is, they had indicated that they were ready and mature for flower formation. But I wasn't convinced enough because these plants were stunted, they were short, they weren't strong, their stems weren't looking so able to carry the fruit, and there was also uneven growth. You can see some of them are stunted, some of them are growing more than some. The competition was real, and I was a bit worried about this. I knew that I had made a big mistake when it comes to overcrowding and competition. But what's gardening if not learning with your mistakes? So I had to learn that these things were actually being uneven because of the competition was real in each sack. Each sack that I planted up to 5 seedlings, or at least 3 seedlings. You can see that one of them would grow bigger than the other, leaving the rest to compete at expense for nutrients. So this was not good. I had already added my compost that I made. There's something that I noticed about growing cucumbers. Growing cucumbers, you need a lot of nutrients because these things they store water inside them and they need to be crunchy. So they need a lot of nutrients because they store food inside in form of water, in form of starch, and you need to keep them well fed. You need to also have a good pesticide because these cucumbers are prone to different kind of pests. There's white flies, there is aphids, there is butterfly larva, there is cankerworm, there are ants, there are other different kind of pests that attack this plant, and you need a good fertilizer just to make a win and produce effectively and efficiently from this plant. What do you use your cucumber for? You can use the cucumber for salad, you can add it to your meal, you can add it to your stew, you can add it to whatever you're cooking, but basically I use cucumber for salad, I use cucumber for garnishing, and I also eat cucumber with other kind of crop like groundnut, peanuts, and other kind of things. So you can see the canker worm pupa stage. As you see, I saw this one late after I already handpicked the other ones at their larvae stage. This one was able to survive up to pupa stage. Another aspect of growing cucumber that requires a lot of dedication is the watering. Now cucumbers store water inside their fruit, and you don't want to eat a cucumber that is very bitter. Now, so to ensure that your cucumber is not bitter, you have to water it daily, at least 3 times daily. You have to water your cucumber 3 times daily, and you have to water them efficiently. Like their soil should be moist at all times, and you don't water in the afternoon, so you water 2 times in the morning or 2 times in the evening, but just ensure that you water at least 3 times daily because the cucumber during the time of flower formation and fruit formation, that is when they require the most watering, and you don't want to have a bitter cucumber, so you have to do that. So you can see that my cucumber plant was already fully grown, but I had no fruit formation, so I had to zoom inside and see that I had male flowers and I also had some female flowers, and the female flowers were being pollinated, hand pollinated by me, because I had waited enough for insects and other kind of pollinating agents. Unfortunately, there were no pollinating agents, so I had to pollinate my plant by myself, and I used the paintbrush to collect some pollen grains from the male flower and then transfer them to the female flower. I didn't really know what I was doing because this was the first time that I was growing cucumber, and I really thought that this was going to be an efficient method because I had waited and I had seen my female flowers falling. You can look at the flower at the top, you can see that it was already covered with some aphids and some white flies, and I just left all those flowers that were infected. I knew that I had made a mistake by not having a good pesticide the time I had started growing cucumber. So next time when I'm growing cucumber, I'm going to use an effective pesticide, probably maybe in a greenhouse. By that time maybe I'd had money, I will obtain a greenhouse and I will plant cucumber in a big way, and I'll use the good pesticide, good fertilizer, good growing condition, because I also said that cucumbers are crops that thrive more in greenhouses and places with controlled condition. They have a kind of high response to heat, temperature, water, and even the soil type. So you need a lot of attention to be paid to the cucumber when you are growing cucumber. As you can see me there, I was trimming off some leaves that were highly infected with white flies. After I hand pollinated some of my flowers, I had seen that some of them had started to develop fully into fruits, and I was happy about that because you can see the projection. I had not grown cucumber before, and this was my first time, and it was actually making me happy because seeing whatsoever you have grown mature and get ready for eating, it was indeed very beautiful, and this is why I say I love growing food. Although the cucumber that I planted in the house didn't grow as expected, it didn't grow as I wanted it to grow, but at least I had cucumbers that I had grown by myself, and for the first time I was harvesting my own cucumber. So I didn't use a scissors or any kind of material to cut. I just hand harvested. I just used my hand to flick it over from the point of attachment to the plant, and then I was going to wash this plant and eat it. But before washing it and eating it, I was going to just take some pictures and videos about it, and I was just admiring what I had grown, because I knew that it wasn't easy to grow this organically. No fertilizer, no pesticide, no chemicals. It was just pure and organic. I'm happy about this. I'm about eating some of the homegrown cucumbers that I planted. That's good. nice and crunchy. Let's see the inside.